Hi guys!
Assalamu alaikum.
I'm Suki
I'm Zara.
and today we are going to react to
An open door Jewish rescue in the Philippines extend trailer.
Okay, let's see.
Yes.
We are really curious because here in Italy, maybe in all the Europe, they didn't talk about the Philippines. They didn't tell us that the Philippines had the Jewish people.
Yes.
So this is really new for us.
Yes.
An open door. They just told us that America and Russia helped the Philippines. Helped the Jewish people.
Yes.
We would go to the park nearby, and we would, by the time we were 5, we would see benches that would say, dogs and Jews not allowed. And couldn't quite understand what all this was about.
When Hitler came to power in 1933, I was 2 years old. And my father, being the chairman of the Socialist Party in Cologne, which was one of the two parties that opposed the Nazis, the Communist Party being the other one, was accused by the Nazis of having murdered 2 Nazis.
In my mind, concentration camp, I knew it was a terrible place and we would most likely be killed there. So it was fear, terrific fear. And so we started hiding.
We were told that there was basically a man in government who was an anti-Semite
Hitler.
and who was very antagonistic towards the Jews.
Hitler. Yeah, Hitler.
Take the train home, and very often there were kids waiting for us, older kids, as we came out of the train station, and they started running after us 8 kids and throwing stones at us and calling us dirty Jews.
Yes, because at house, but also at school, like the teachers told to German people, you don't have to speak with Jewish. They are not allowed to school. When this all start, yeah, when all this start, the parents, the German Christian parents, didn't allow their child to play with the other German
Jewish kids.
Yeah. So it's sad.
So I became a very fast runner.
In 1937, a group of Nazis came to the door with a German shepherd and wanted to see about the Jewish books. And my dad had quite a library. A dog frightened me terribly. It was a big police dog. And they took the books. There were a fair amount of Jews living in that apartment house. They took all these books, took them into the backyard of the apartment building, and there was a whole pyre that was built and basically burned all those books.
All this happened. It is not just about religion. It is not just about because they are Jewish. It is also because of the business, right? Jewish people were really rich. They were businessmen, they were lawyers, doctors. So it is not just about religion, it is also about business.
Yeah, also the Jewish people had like banks. They were
really rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world turned upside down.
Because of one man,
Yes,
Hitler.
and it is not just about the past. Like, even now in the present, we can see that a lot of countries are suffering.
Yeah.
Like, now Ukraine, and there is also Libya, there is Syria, Afghanistan, and more other countries. It is not just about the past. Even now, we are seeing this happening. And they talk about progress, and honestly, I don't see any progress, really.
Yeah. And it's always because of like a president or someone that is in the politics. And
Yes.
and all, like the presidents or the politics like are always protected even in
safe.
the war. They are safe, but
Innocent
even
people,
innocent people, they didn't want the war.
but they are suffering.
Yeah.
They took the German citizenship away from my mother, my father, and myself. So now we were stateless.
My dad was arrested and was arrested in the Breslau town hall. My mother told me that, told my brother and I that my dad was away on a trip, on a business trip. Really never divulged that he was.
She lied to them to protect them.
Had been arrested, and but cried bitterly, and we couldn't understand why she was crying.
My father was told by the Nazis that he had to get rid of all his houses. He could only take 100 marks out.
With the they took everything from them. Even though when all this was like finished, they can't like how can I say,
In italiano?
non sono riuscite a tornare nelle loro case, perché ormai le loro case non erano più le loro case.
Even when the wars, everything ended, they couldn't come back to their house, to their home, to their territories,
because
they were taken.
Yeah.
They lose them forever.
Yeah.
Of the Nuremberg laws and depriving all German Jews of their German citizenship. This that enabled then the government to confiscate businesses, to confiscate homes, to appropriate all their assets. It was not a physical extermination, but it was a social annihilation, because it annihilated their place in the social fabric of German society and treated them as non gratis, as foreign enemies living amongst society.
They took from them everything.
Yeah.
My father's family left Germany in 1939, so it was late. And in fact...
Yes, you are right. Also the names, because they become numbers.
Yeah, they become animals, because only animals have numbers. So they did it in purpose, like to
humiliate them, to stop them.
Yeah.
We talk about this because we studied it, and we also have books in our library.
Yeah, because we are really, really interested in this topic.
Yeah.
My father's uncle, Walter, with whom he was very close, was actually taken by the Nazis and killed in a concentration camp. They were well-educated German Jews who believed that this was not going to affect them.
When we got this telephone call, we packed our bags, we left within an hour, and all of our furniture, everything else, pots, pans, dishes, whatever was in the kitchen, we left behind. And we never went back there.
We thought any minute they're going to stop the cars and send us off to a concentration camp.
A new law came out that German Aryans were not to go to Jewish physicians, or not be treated by Jewish physicians anymore. And then my father realized that the time is up and he should better start looking around for another country to take him.
when we boarded the ship, it was a bit exciting for me. It was sort of an adventure, and I felt somewhat secure. I had my brother there, I had my parents there. I know I was going to a new country, but it was somewhat exciting.
So a Philippine president. That's good.
Manuel El Quezeno.
Quezon. Manuel
Quezon.
Quezon.
Yeah,
Okay, so he's the president.
yeah.
Quezon, like most Filipinos, was Catholic.
She said Quezon.
But I think Quezon is like with American accent.
Okay,
I
because
think
in Spanish,
Quezon. Yeah.
And yet he developed an affinity for Jews because he felt that there was a sort of a symbolic brotherhood between Filipinos and Jews. That is,
here in school they didn't talk about this president. This is the
Yeah.
first time I hear about it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
about him.
that as the Filipinos were the recipients of racial discrimination and bigotry on the part of many Americans at that time, that the Jews were similarly the recipients of bigotry by the Nazis. And so even though Quezon had extremely important and critical political and economic issues to wrestle with at this time, he was willing to take a stand to help the Jews.
Yeah.
This is really
yeah.
amazing. Even though the Philippines had problems in its own,
Yeah.
they helped the Jewish people
Without thinking much, like the
because it is dangerous. In that
Yeah.
period, helping Jewish, it was
really dangerous. Yeah.
So it is really impressive, and now we understand why you are so proud of this thing.
Video also. Yeah.
My father applied to the Philippines, but didn't know at all where it was, what it was. All he knew was it was somewhere in the Pacific. So he looked up his encyclopedia, which was published in 1898, we found out later.
Ah, so c'è una enciclopedia.
See, like it was like a map.
Yes,
There was,
I know.
of course, there wasn't Google, so they
Yeah.
can just know by the maps.
And he read that this was an island discovered, or a set of islands, 7,000 islands discovered by Magellan.
Magellan.
It's under the Spanish crown. Spanish was the national language. So naturally, we immediately started studying Spanish.
When we got to the Philippines and we're staying in the boarding house where there are all sorts of different people, Filipinos, mestizos, Caucasians, etc. To me, there was never any distinction. To me, they were all people. And to this day, I feel that way. But it was never a distinction to me.
And I was very impressed because we rode up Dewey Boulevard into Pasay,
Tapasay.
and it's a lovely beach, lovely beaches, beautiful banana trees, and there were the polo grounds, I remember.
One of the things we did fairly often was go to the movies, and there were half a dozen good movie theaters in the Philippines. The Lyric, the Ideal, the Gaiety Theater. I would say
I think, I'm not sure, maybe these places are in Manila.
Maybe.
So I think because I think if we go to Manila,
Inshallah,
Inshallah,
someday.
yeah, we can see
The
all
theater.
this, not just the theaters. Also, I think it will be also museums that talks about this topic.
Maybe, could be.
we probably went to the movies maybe once every couple of weeks.
The games that we played were mostly Sipa.
Sipa.
Sipa is, it's it's a round metal thing with strips of paper, I believe, and you kick it with your leg. And the one who could kick it the most, of course, was the winner. When you saw how the doors were basically closed to all of us except the Philippines, and how the Filipino people...
Yes, the Philippines was an open door.
Also, I think Filipino in the past, and I think also now, are so brave and kind. So,
People are a very warm people.
Warm people.
They're a very friendly people.
Look at their smiles.
We learn Filipino songs, and
talking about the Filipino songs, a lot of you guys asked us to react to Filipino songs, Filipino singers, and they told us that they have amazing voice, and we trust you, we believe in what you say, but we can't, for some reasons, react to music. But if you write down in the comments the songs, we will check it and listen to them in our owns, and we will learn about Filipino songs, but we can't react to it
sorry.
Yes, but if you suggest us some traditional Filipino music or music that promote your country, we can react to it in YouTube.
There were quite a few performances. Art was very important. And Filipinos have very, very good voices.
Yeah, that's what you said, guys.
My father spoke often of his Filipino friends and recounted things that were these small moments, but clearly moments that for him.
Philippines seems really a good memory for them, because when they talk about the Philippines,
they're smiling.
Yeah, they smile.
Him were all about
they seem happy.
Friendship and happiness, and something that was very lighthearted.
As we were sleeping in the middle of the night, the house was shaking as if there was an earthquake. Everybody woke up, so we ran outside and stood in the street while the houses were shaking. But there were these large booms. Turned out that we were being bombarded by the Japanese.
Oh, that it was happening now. Even now.
I think the Japanese were an aliens. I think aliens. They had good terms. They were in good terms with German. So I think that's why
they bombarded the Philippines.
Daily air raids. They were awful. It was groups of 4, 4, and 4, which you could barely see. Exceedingly well trained. And of course they bombed at random. And it was a very frightening experience.
They were surely traumatized from this. And the sad thing, I'm repeating myself, this is happening also now in Ukraine, in many other countries in Africa and other places. And this is the sad thing. We are not just watching the past, but this is also in the present.
Shortly thereafter, all of our friends that were either American, Canadian, British, or French, which were the Allies, enemies of the Japanese, were rounded up by the Japanese and interned at San Tomas.
The irony of this is that these refugee Jews from Germany and Austria who had passports identifying them as German Jews are not arrested by the Japanese. The Japanese don't care if they're Jewish. they have a German passport, that means that they are an ally, and they are not arrested, and they are not interned or incarcerated.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is like what you said before.
Yeah.
So Japan and German, they were in good terms.
Yeah, because I remember this thing because I remember from school, and yeah, it's really sad.
Liberation, finally. Finally.
This seems happy. Viva la Manila.
Manila. So the Philippines was free from Japan.
Yeah.
Finally.
American flag.
So maybe the America helped the Philippines.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's why you can speak in English.
You can
because-
speak English.
Yeah,
You said you can speak in English.
in English.
You can speak English.
I think you can also say in English.
Okay, we don't know. This is good.
I really did not want to leave. That was my home. That was all that I knew. I was there from the time I was 7. I was there for almost 9 years.
Yeah.
And that was my home.
So Manila reception for Jewish refugees, 1940. Okay.
Private residence.
Private residence.
For me, the Philippines, it may not be my motherland, but my adopted motherland.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because if it had not been for it, I would not be the person that I am now.
He's crying. I really have goosebumps. This is
Yeah.
really good to know, really.
Roosevelt and Churchill saved Western civilization. But Quezon, and so few people know that, President Quezon of the Philippines, saved 1,200 Jewish souls.
1200.
Hello?
Me.
President Quezon of the Philippines saved 1,200 Jewish souls, as many as Schindler, maybe even more. And that is the epitome, basically, of Judaism. It says if you save one soul, you save mankind.
Yes, this
Yeah.
is really good.
There's also in the Quran, like if you save one soul, like it's like you save all the humankind, and also if you kill one soul, it's like killing all the humankind.
And
So
she
yeah,
has reason because we didn't know anything about this president,
Yeah.
Manuel Quezon.
yeah.
Emmanuel
It's
Quezon.
Quezon, yeah, it's really sad that a lot of people don't know still now
About this fact.
about this brave president.
Yes, and it is sad because here in Europe they don't teach us about Philippines and or about Morocco, for example,
yeah.
or Turkey,
Turkey.
because all of 3 of them helped the Jewish people. But here in the books we just study that America and Russia helped the Jewish people, and it is good to know this new information
Yeah.
that we learned today, and we are really happy.
That's why we did in our channel culture.
Yes.
Because yes, music it's good. Music, yeah, sometimes can has also its culture, but I think videos like this are more informative, and you can learn about a country from.
Above all, here in Italy, they don't talk about Asian country or African country. They just talk about Europe, America, and Russia. So we really don't know anything about Asian countries, Africa, or South America.
Yeah.
So
That's why
we started YouTube, because we wanted to study all these countries, and we thought, why we don't study in YouTube and hear what how can I say
like that's why we started YouTube, because we can learn from the videos, but also we have like direct informations from you. So yeah,
and we hope that what we learn, other people can learn with us.
Yeah.
That's
So,
it. And thank you for watching our video, and thank you for who recommended this video, and see you in the next video.
Goodbye.